everyone, today I'll be reviewing this highly anticipated movie, Peaky Blinder, the Immortal Man. And this movie, it is a, I guess, ending to this like hugely popular series, Peaky Blinders. And of course, this movie came out a couple of weeks ago. But I remember before watching this movie, all the critics were raving about it, and everybody was loving it. And like I definitely saw a lot of people were really like giving this movie like A stars. I was like, oh, this movie must be really great. So of course I was really excited to see this movie because of course I call him Cillian Murphy, but his name is Killian, I guess. Cillian Murphy and Rebecca Ferguson. I really like Rebecca Ferguson. She's really amazing actress. And of course Barry Keoghan. And this movie, it is directed by Tom Hooper. And after watching this movie, and I'm like, oh wow, I can't believe it. Like, how is this movie deserve all that like praising is getting? Like, what did I just watch? Like, I personally, after watching this movie, first of all, I felt really depressed. This is really very depressing movie. And the way it ends, like, what? So I'm gonna be honest here, I have never seen the show Peaky Blinders. You don't have to see like existing like IP to understand this like movie. You know, movie should tell its own story. Although I think this movie first act definitely is very interesting. Although it never tells you like how did he get here or anything like that. But it's definitely is interesting because, you know, Tom Shelby, his name in this movie, you know, he learned that he has a son, and you know, everybody tells him about his son and everything. And we meet his son played by Barry Keoghan. And all this advertise about this movie, you know, it's promising this father-son duo and everything. So in this movie, and because of the ad told me, like, I am waiting for them to be doing something great here. But the first act, we see the whole movie talking about his son, blah, blah, he's doing all this thing, blah, blah. And, you know, he is doing all this thing. But this movie, really, like, the minute he met his son, like, and it just takes, like, different turn here. I'm like, what? You know, you meet your only son after all this time. And the way this character, they react with each other, you are like, what? Like, it's really very unsatisfying as the audience. It doesn't matter you love the series or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter, like, you have some kind of or anything, you know, like, what is this, like, why this character, the way they interact with each other is beyond like illogical. And the interaction between Cillian Murphy and Rebecca Ferguson are really very weird. Like you were like, the minute you meet Rebecca Ferguson, you can see like she has some other intention, obviously, like you know, she's this gypsy. And although she looked really ridiculous playing gypsy, I couldn't, you know, and she has this British accent. You cannot take her seriously. She's playing gypsy, God's sake. Like, what? She was acting so, like, her weirdness, it didn't work in this movie, basically. Although she looked great, and she was great because she's such an amazing actress. Really, she is. And in this movie, the character she was playing, her wig and everything, she's really looked ridiculous with her accent and everything. You're like, really, Rebecca? You are not gypsy. She's from Sweden, I hear, so that I didn't know. She's really good. I thought she's a British actress, so. But anyway, Cillian Murphy. Can I talk about him in this movie? He was acting like his facial expression throughout this movie. It looks like you are watching Oppenheimer Part 2. Like, what is going on? Like, all his expression in this movie, man, it just reminds you of Oppenheimer you are watching. Like, didn't work here at all. Or maybe that's how the character is. Could be that, I guess. The whole movie, it talks about his tough guy and blah, blah. Although he was acting like he's this lost and everything. But really, you never believe he's this tough guy in this movie, because this movie never takes time to establish him as such. So I think the director for this movie, he was thinking this movie, it is only for the series watcher, like who watched the series, they will watch this only. But that's never the case on Netflix. It is such a giant platform, everybody watches anything drops on Netflix because it shows up on your top 10. So, a lot of people will be watching Peaky Blinder, this movie, and, they will be lost because that is how this movie was made. Like, it's really such a poorly written movie. End of it, it just makes you really angry because you saw all this potential this movie has. It's never delivered to the audience. So that is why a lot of people will feel frustrated watching this movie. Like, you never assume audience know the story. Even you don't know the story, even you know the story, overall this movie just doesn't work. Like, what? And the way it ends, like, that is that this movie, man, it looks so depressing. The dark, it looked like, why it's looking like this in 1940? Where it took place, in Ireland or England? Not sure, but this pig pit, the whole show throughout this movie shows you this pig and where, like, and it's so muddy and dirty. It makes you feel dirty. End of it. It's just the production design so bad for this movie. The cinematography just awful. Throughout the movie, just like, okay, maybe I get it. It's 1940s. It was depressing time or whatever, but why it looks so bad? Like I have seen other in that time frame movie never looked this dark. Like, it has zero color. The only time it has color when Rebecca Ferguson, she find this scarf in the grave or whatever. I was just like, oh wow. Okay, so a lot of people might be in the comment, you're giving your perspective from someone who never watched the series. You don't have to watch series to know any movies, Then again, most people like me, did had some general idea, I suppose, but this movie really took this depressing approach. It has zero entertainment value. As I keep saying, it had so much potential that it breaks my heart the way this movie was. As someone who likes all this actor on a screen, like even the billion guy, Tom Rothman, right? What is his Rothman something? I know this actor, he's good, He played this kind of character before, the guy who's the mafia boss. Usually he does play this kind of role, and he played kind of like a similar role he had played in the other show or movie, I will say. But anyway, Tom Roth, the way he died in this movie is also like, what? Like, everything is like so lackluster in this movie. You are just, as the audience, you're just waiting there something great will happen. But it just never happens. And Barry Keoghan, like, I feel like he seems like very impressive actor, honestly. I feel like he could be doing great stuff. But every movie, I feel like he's playing this lost character. Even in this movie, he felt like he was lost. Like, none of this actor, honestly, I didn't thought they did great job because like I have seen them in other movies. This isn't their best work. Even Cillian Murphy, who has won Oscar for Oppenheimer, he was just playing Oppenheimer Part 2 here. Like, he was also lost, I can see in his face. But obviously, the director, he sucked. Like, he really sucked in this movie, you can see. Like, he gave them so bad direction. Like, all these actors were lost in this. The only person who tried to work with the character they had was Rebecca Ferguson. But then again, be honest, she was also like, what are you doing here? Your accent is just like, what? Overall, it was quite disappointing. And I don't know how this movie get such a high review from the critic. Like, how you saw this movie and you gave it like, oh wow, 10 out of 10 star. Like, how? Yeah. And that's my thought on this. Let me know in the comment, what do you think about this movie? If you enjoyed this review, don't forget other reviews on other movies. Let me know in the comment, am I wrong, or you think this was kind of a disappointing ending? If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. Until I see you next time, please take care.